It's NBA All-Star Weekend. What does that mean? Like, normally we don't really care about it. This is Tyrese Maxey's first time there. It's his first time under the bright lights with the All-Stars and all the celebrities and everything going on. And I can't wait to cheer Tyrese Maxey on this weekend. Skills competition, the game. It's a big moment for the young 23-year-old. So we're going to talk about that today. We got Eagles talk on the agenda. Maybe we'll bring some movie conversation in. Trending in the AM live with your thoughts and opinions. We're back in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, 6 different platforms, 6 different places. Make sure no matter where you're watching, you're hitting that like, that share, that subscribe, that follow, that retweet button, depending on which platform you're on. Greatly appreciate that. Help to spread the word and get as many people on board with the best morning show in Philadelphia, Trending in the AM. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel, as always. You can find me on all social media platforms at Beard of Knowledge. If I'm there, that's what you find, not Beard Nose of Knowledge. All right, fantastic. We got lots on the agenda today. We got lots to talk about. Good morning, Duck. How you doing today? We're going to have a little fun today. We're going to have a good, fun conversation. Lots of things on the agenda. Adam in the house already as well. So I want to talk NBA All-Star Weekend. I want to talk Sixers, where this squad is. Tyrese Maxey at 23 years old in this great spot here under the bright lights of All-Star Weekend in the skills competition. Got bumped from the three-point contest, but that's okay. All the festivities. I kind of think that the NBA does All-Star Weekend the best out of all the sports. Even though the dunk contest is worn off, we're going to get into all that today. Eagles, 2 things I want to bring up with the Eagles. Today, I want to bring up more and discuss more of the Saquan Barkley rumors and Jason Kelce. We're now, almost a full week removed from the Super Bowl. When will we get the news on Jason Kelce? And does Jason Kelce owe us anything to just get this over with as soon as possible? I know it's a tough decision to make, but is there anything that he could, or do we worry that he's going to drag it out, making the decision, basically? But anyway, we got lots to get into today, so make sure you bring your thoughts, your comments, your opinions on all these things. We really didn't get too much Sixers talk yesterday. That's why I want to definitely spend some time talking Sixers. We had a little bit more of a serious conversation on yesterday's show that we had to dive into, so we really didn't get too much into it. The loss to the Heat entering the break was not ideal. Not ideal at all. We talked about it on Wednesday on this show with Justin Crosby that it was a little bit more of a trap game, a little bit more difficult situation spot for the Sixers than we realized. And it turned out that way. Them dropping a tough game there. The Sixers are still such a shorthanded team right now. And it's not just the Joel Embiid injury, which we're getting close to his 4-week stretch. We're 2 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks away from him being reevaluated and us learning whether we get Joel Embiid back or not. So we've got that on the horizon. But right now, with what we have on the court, with Buddy Hield now entrenched in this team, with Cam Payne, Kyle Lowry will be joining us after the All-Star break. Where is this team? Can they hold their head above water? Can they survive? Can they survive even if Joel Embiid doesn't come back? What is the ceiling of this team? We need Nicholas Batum back. We need you know, Robert Covington. We need all these guys to be healthy. D'Anthony Melton. We need them back. What is up, TMC? How you doing this morning? Joel Dunn, you don't know that. You do not know that at all. Brutal loss to the Leafs last night. Yeah, the Flyers, but they were down 3-1. I turned it off at 3-1 at the end of the second period. I guess they made some kind of a comeback. I don't know. It was a 4-3 loss last night. Um, I still find it hard, K1, to get fully invested in the Flyers. I've watched more Flyers hockey this year than the last couple of years combined. I'm trying to put more effort into watching the Flyers. I try to bring the Flyers up on this show from time to time. Even had Flyers guests on this show in the last few years, but I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just in my mind knowing that I don't think they're going to be buyers. I think that they're still too. They're kind of in a lucky spot right now where they're just overachieving, knowing that they're not trying to win this year makes it very hard for me to fully be on board and really watch every single game and whatnot at this point. Oh my God. Stop. K1 is hurt. Stop 18. Stop with that too. Austin Matthews was on fire. Yeah. I don't know. I find it tough. Haven't been out of the loop and so out on the Flyers for so long. It is very hard for me to get back into them, especially considering that the Eagles and the Sixers and here in the coming weeks the Phillies take up so much of my attention. There's only so much time in a week to watch so much sports, and Flyers have taken a back burner. I've tried. I really have. But I'm not sure what it is that I just can't fully 100% get back in. I'm more excited about All-Star Game weekend for the NBA than any Flyers games that might be on the schedule this weekend. Because like I said, in the cold open, I think NBA does All-Star weekend better than anybody, festivity-wise. The game itself stinks like any All-Star game stinks to an extent. I'm glad NBA All-Star weekend went back to East versus West. I think that's the way to do it. The drafting of teams just didn't do it for me. But you got the dunk contest, still a legendary contest. It's not what it used to be, but it's still better than most events. The 3-point contest is elite. It is the real main event to me. You got the skills competition with our man Tyrese Maxey in it this weekend. That kind of is boring, but kind of entertaining at the same time. You get the Rising Stars games. You got celebrity games. A lot of celebrities show up for these things. This year, you got the special. Who is it? Steph Curry versus a WNBA player. Where is it? Sorry, I don't. Sabrina. I don't know how to say her name. Ionescu of the New York Liberty, going at it in a one-on-one 3-point shooting contest. All-Star games are all garbage, but it's the stuff that they do around the All-Star game that, one way or another. I still think the best event in all of All-Star games is still the Home Run Derby, still to this point. But as a whole, the NBA does the weekend better than any other sport. That's my opinion. Mac McClung, 3-point return. I did make a parlay. I had a little profit boost thingy on DraftKings, so I made a little $5 bet to make it entertaining. I picked Mac McClung to repeat as dunk champion and parlayed that with Lauri Markkanen, who's going to rip out Sixer souls because he could have been a Sixer if we wanted to trade for him. We wanted to invest a lot. We didn't talk about Daryl Morey and that. We're going to get into that in a second. I parlayed the two of those together, took my boost. I think I got like something like 25-1 that McClung and what's his name, Lauri Markkanen, both win their respective events. I liked it. I thought it was a fun little prop bet right there to place, and it gives me a little rooting interest. Phil, are you expecting Howie to mess up the draft again? He sucks at drafting. See, I think you're wrong there, Davey. He was bad at drafting. Howie Roseman has gotten much better over the years at drafting. And I don't foresee a scenario where he screws it up completely. I think he knows what he's got to do. Will he do what we want him to do? I don't know. But I think he's got a solid plan. We're going to try to bring on some draft experts in the coming weeks here and really dive deep into these draft prospects and where they could fall. But I have confidence in Howie. Howie has earned himself a little leeway, in my mind, over his last 2 or 3 off seasons to do whatever he wants, and I've got to have faith in it. Steph by a landslide over, again, I already forget her name. Sorry to Sabrina. Sabrina Ionescu from the New York Liberty. I wonder if Steph will take it seriously and really try to beat her. I don't know. I think he should. I'm sure there's a lot of money on the line for charity. Yeah, Mitchie Poo was the thing. Why isn't Maxey? Why did he get bumped? I know they moved him to the skills competition. That's fine. But it's not like he couldn't do both. Tyrese Halliburton's in both the skills competition and the three-point contest. I wanted Maxey in the three-point contest. I did. I really did. And in my opinion, still to this point, the three-point contest is the main event. It won't be the main event. The last thing will be the dunk contest. It always is. But I can care less because you don't get star power in the dunk contest. Although Jalen Brown is sort of star power, sort of. He's an all-star, not an elite, but he's an all-star level player. Surprised that he's in there. I don't think of him as a dunk contest participant. The dunk contest has lost ever since Andre Iguodala got robbed. Is that the Nate Robinson, one of Nate Robinson's years? Ever since Andre Iguodala got robbed, I can't get into the dunk contest. He had that great from behind the backboard reverse dunk that was the winner right there. MLB tried to make the All-Star game matter and everyone freaked out. I know. That is so true. I just think that was stupid. Like, you don't need anything on the line. I still, to this day, and I bring this up every year around the All-Star game for the NBA, that all these leagues can make all the All-Star games matter more by putting a massive amount of money on the line for charity. Like, everybody wants, like, the LeBron James, and we're going to talk LeBron James probably a touch today. I'm sure his name will get brought up a couple times. LeBron James in the dunk contest. Everyone's always wanted it. Now, it might be too late, but it's beside the point. You're telling me if the NBA put $10 million, which is their change bowl by the exit door of the office, $10 million on the line for the charity of the winner's choice, that more stars wouldn't try to play or participate? Because if you're LeBron, you're prime LeBron, you're like, oh, why aren't you in it? Oh, I don't want to do it. Oh, you don't want to try to win $10 million for the LeBron James Foundation? You know, there's so many ways that they can make these games, bring more of the stars out for these events. And they don't do it. Same thing with baseball and football. They could do so much more and use these platforms. And that would get those people involved. Brown should be in the skills competition, but he can only dribble with his left hand. Ouch. That would be what we call a bazinga burn. Deebs needs to draft for the Philadelphia Eagles. If he was so good, then he'd be working for the Philadelphia Eagles. Come on now. Watch Trotter Jr. go to the Cowboys. Yeah, is that what's going to happen? You know what? I don't care. Everyone wants Jeremiah Trotter Jr. just because of the namesake. This is not the bloodline. This is not, the Samoan dynasty. We don't have to draft Trotter Jr. just because his name's Trotter. He's just as undersized as Nakobe Dean, as I'm learning. Yeah, he's a tackling machine, but so is Nakobe Dean in college. We need an elite linebacker on this team. Sure, no doubt about it. But we don't have to just rush to get Trotter Jr. and make that our only goal. Because I'm guessing and I'm assuming there are better options in the NFL draft than Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Will the Eagles roster be getting weaker? No, it's going to get better. They're going to fill. Aaron Gordon got robbed twice by Zach LaVine. Yes, probably. At least one of those should have gone to Aaron Gordon. I think the Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine back and forth those 2 years in a row, probably the last time I actually remotely got invested. I mean, I was kind of invested with Mac McClung in it last year, but Zach LaVine was 15 and 16. Since then, Glenn Robinson Jr. the third, Donovan Mitchell, Diallo. I don't even know who he is. I remember seeing the name and like, who is he? Derek Jones, Anthony Simmons, Opie Toppin, Mac McClung. Nobody big wins it. How did John Wall win a dunk contest? Terrence Ross, Blake Griffin was the last elite star to actually win one. Dwight Howard, Josh Smith won a dunk contest. Who's Fred Jones winning a dunk contest? Like, really? Desmond Mason. So here's the thing. I saw something on the other morning show, that poll. Who's the best dunker of all time? And it was a big argument going on whether it was Dr. J or Vince Carter. Dr. J flew the best, but Vince Carter was definitely the best dunker of all time. Iguodala robbery was so bad, and he won MVP of the Rising Star Game 2. I forgot about that. That robbery, what year was it? Was definitely one of the Nate Robinson years, Marshawn. I'm almost positive of it. But I still have that. It's so hard. The problem with the dunk contest isn't just the star power. The problem with the NBA dunk contest is the fact that how many more creative dunks can people come up with? Like, there's just not many more options. It's getting harder, and they're trying more complex dunks, which make them miss the dunks, and they get to keep going and going and trying on these dunks. That it gets whatever. Like, that Iguodala dunk, I still remember. He bounced it off the back of the backboard, caught it midair, came around underneath the basket, and still, like, that was intense. Still remember Isaiah Ryder doing the shirt over the head, the Vince Carter no-look dunk. Like, how many more tweaks can they do on it? So it's been done so many times that there's not much. But the robbery there, man, that's Mac McClung would dunk circles on future Sixer LeBron James. Phil, should we send another 60? Oh my God, we're not getting that serious today. We had a serious conversation yesterday. We're not doing it again today. Phil, what do you think about the viability of a two-state solution? No. Please address, no, stop. I'm not going into this, guys. Star linebacker from Texas A&M, Edrin Cooper is greater than Trotter. I've heard people say that. But everybody just wants Trotter in midnight green or Kelly green or whatever color green you are. Because of the name. This is not the Hanoi Samoan dynasty. This is not acknowledge him. This is not the bloodline. We are not WWE. We do not have to have Jeremiah Trotter Jr. And if we don't get him and he goes to Cowboys, who cares? As long as we address the position. I think the love for Jeremiah Trotter Jr. has nothing to do with what he does on the football field. He very well might be a good football player. And he may be one of the best linebackers of the draft. But the love for Trotter Jr. is solely in Philadelphia because of the name. 90% of Philadelphia Eagles fans have not seen a play ever from Trotter Jr. outside of highlights on social media. I know I haven't. I've only seen the highlights and read things from guys like Deebs and other great content creators that talk draft prospects. $10 million to charity of your choice is code word for $10 million to tax write-offs. Only the very top earners pay that much in tax. All right, whatever. I'm trying to come up with ways to make more stars want to be in all-star festivities. You got a better idea, mister? Give it to me. Sure. Why not? Whatever. Give me any ideas to make it more interesting. You do not want to hear any political talk out of me. I don't do it. I won't do it. And I try my best not to. I think I am. Stop, guys. Vince Carter is the best in-game and contest dunker. The man dunked over a 7-footer in a game. Vince Carter is without a shadow of a doubt, K1. I'm throwing K1's name. He loves that line. Without a shadow of a doubt, the best dunker of all time in the NBA. And he was actually a pretty damn good basketball player, too. Whoever's old enough to have been watching live when the Raptors played the Sixers in 01 in the playoffs, and he had a big opportunity to make a shot late in the game, and he missed it. Like, that guy's making that shot. Like, the guy was just so good. And he played a played 21 years in the NFL or in the NBA. Phil, again, are we asking the same question over and over again? No. They should have one NBA legend come back and be in the dunk contest to try and make it better. Yeah, I don't know. Legend, you could bring legends back in the 3-point contest. That you could do, Adam. But I don't think you could. Maybe Michael Jordan would be the only one, but most legends really can't be dunking at 50, 60 years old. But hell, Larry Bird, however old he is, could easily go up. I would love to see, who wouldn't want to see Larry Bird versus Steph Curry in the 3-point contest finals, or any of them. Like, now that would be something you could do, and I would be 1,000% game for that. I hope you feel better, my man. But I'm glad you're here watching anyway. If a tree falls and there's no one there to hear it, does it really make a sound? Huh? You want to really get deep there? Eh. The creature from Jekyll Island. Do I? Phil the gatekeeper, what is up, my man? Eric, how you doing? Vince is too nice, man. Imagine if he was nasty like Kobe or had AI's heart. Yeah. See, being that he was in Toronto for so much of his career, maybe we don't know much about his real everyday personality. Maybe he was more like them and we just didn't realize it, but I doubt it. And I get what you're saying there. And I kind of makes sense there too. Oh my god. I don't even want to read some of these comments, guys. Not opening up any of these worms here. Not at all. Is Guys, let's keep it. Let's keep this is a prime opportunity to say stop. Please, guys. Please keep it to sports. Please keep it to sports. Please. Only sports on this show today, and maybe movies. We're going to start. We did Valentine's Day movies on Wednesday. We didn't do anything movie related yesterday. I'm going to try almost every day to bring up one movie that I love to get your opinions on it. And I got one in the chamber. I got it. I got a movie I want to talk about today. One of what I feel is one of the 20 greatest movies of all time. And if I had to do a movie ranking of the top 5 movies that are underrated, this would land in the top 5 of underrated movies of all time. We're going to tease it and we'll bring it up later in the show. Dunk contest should be one take. I don't want to see a guy exactly, Eric. And this is what kills the dunk contest. These guys get 47 attempts to make a dunk and it just loses its luster. Should Spags be the first coordinator inducted into the Hall of Fame? I mean, I'm hearing people talk about it. I think he's got the most Super Bowl victories as a coordinator in NFL history. I think I read that somewhere, Marshawn. And if that's the case, there's an argument to be made for it. 3-point shootout don't need to change. They keep changing it a little bit. They keep tweaking it. First they had the money balls. Then they had a whole rack of money balls. Now they got like the 4-point ball off to the deep end with the Mountain Dew or whatever. So they're constantly breaking the records of the original records of the shooters, but point-wise and stuff. But outside of that, the 3-point contest is great. I would watch that as the main event. I would put that on last. I would rev the crowd up with the dunk contest, then do the skills competition as the in-between thing, and then let the 3-point shooting contest go off last. Just imagine somebody's got to make one final 3-pointer at the buzzer there to win the thing, and then you walk off and you win, and then the show ends. Like, Mike, is it? Aliens in the Abyss being released on 4K. People still have Blu-rays? I don't even have a DVD or a Blu-ray player. I don't even own anything like that. 4 Super Bowl wins as a coordinator. Yeah, I thought that's what I read. Boondock Saints? No, I don't. I've never seen any of the Boondock Saints. I won't lie. Be going to see the Mean Girls remake? No, I will not. That will not get me into a theater. Time Traveler's Wife, perhaps. Then I should just say it, because otherwise you're just going to spam my comments with dumbass movie jokes. Should Eli Manning be first ballot Hall of Famer? Wow, we're talking Spags. We talked a lot about quarterbacks yesterday. Should Eli Manning be a first ballot Hall of Famer? Ouch. I mean, how many 2-time Super Bowl champions that has a Super Bowl MVP trophy don't get into the Hall of Fame? I don't know. I mean, I'm not putting him in the Hall of Fame, but Adam, I wouldn't be shocked if he is. Wouldn't be shocked. My birthday is on Valentine's Day. That means my wife owes me twice the. Oh my God! Stop, Brokeback Mountain. No, don't say it. Let us guess. I'm being serious. This is a serious movie, and it's a great movie. It's a timepiece movie. It has an all-star cast with multiple Academy Award winners in it. It's got drama, it's got love, it's got action, it's got deceit. I swear, shut no. Eli should not be in the Hall of Fame. Should not be. But again, I'm asking you, can you name another quarterback with 2 Super Bowl victories, including 1 Super Bowl MVP, that's not in the Hall of Fame? Just saying. My God, I'm not surprised that these are the kind of comments I'm getting here. Craig Hodges, who played for the Bulls like Mac McClung playing for the Sixers, dominated the three-point contest. Yes, true romance. Once Upon a Time in America. Wasn't it called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or something? I don't know. All right, I'm just going to give you Magnolia. Now, the movie that I wanted to bring up today as the movie of the we're going to call it the movie of the day. We got to stick to sports, guys. We got to, but we got to mix other things in. Movie of the day. The most underrated movie, in my opinion. To me, it's a top 20, maybe top 15 movie of all time. All-star cast. All right. That movie is one L.A. not Night. L.A. Confidential. Kevin Spacey, I know, controversial, obviously, but also Russell Crowe, James Cromwell, Guy Pearce, Kim Basinger. The list goes on. Ron Rifkin, David Strathairn, underrated actor for sure. I mean, the list of the guys that were in this movie, Danny DeVito, so many great actors in this movie. Great cast, great writing, great acting. L.A. Confidential, one of the most underrated movies of all time. Going to see Deadpool 3, first non-movie. See, I don't go to the movies, guys. I hate movie theaters, even new movie theaters. I just don't feel comfortable in a movie theater. Never did, never have. The only thing I ever go see in the movie theaters is anytime there's a new James Bond movie. I think in my lifetime, GoldenEye was the first one I saw in theaters, and I have seen every single one since then in a theater. Every single one but Quantum of Solace opening weekend. Outside of that, I mean, my wife and I, we've been married for 17 years, dated, engaged before that. We've probably been to 8 movies in 25 years, and most of them are James Bond movies. I don't like movie theaters. I don't. Why do WNBA players get offended when we suggest they lower the rim for dunks? Look how much the dunk contest made the NBA famous. That's interesting. I don't know. The Replacements is actually a great movie. I love it. Chicks Dig Scars, Glory, last forever. I hardly underrated. I don't ever see anybody talking about that movie. Never. You don't like LA Confidential? How do you not like LA Confidential? It is a fantastic movie. Try to get through that. It's very slow. Did you see the X-Men 96 trailer, the 90s cartoon? Yeah, I thought it was X-Men 97, but whatever. Yeah, I did. Didn't watch a lot of that when I was a kid, but yeah. It might have won the Oscars, but when you see people write their list of greatest movies, you never see anybody talk about it. It's often forgot about. You never see it on replays on TV. Never see anything about it. Space Jam, overrated. I'm gonna say it. Love the Elroy novel. Tons of plot left out of the movie. I did not read the novel. I am not comfortable in a movie theater. Not at all. Man of Steel is a great superhero movie. We are not going to make this solely about movies. We can't. We can't. Yeah, absolutely. One of the best Batgirls of all time, or Batman love interest. It was too slow for me. Kim Basinger was hella. Yeah, absolutely. I like slow developing movies with a good twist and good stories and good character development. That's what I like. Why am I 2/3 through the board? I don't know. But anyway, back to the NBA. Back to the dunk contest. Gladiator is overrated now. Gladiator is a great movie. I mean, maybe a smidge overrated, actually. Like, I'm not like, there's people jumping up and down, excited, waiting for Gladiator 2 finally. And I can care less. Like, I don't. It's a great movie, Gladiator, when it's on and nothing else is on. Yeah, I'll put it on. But I don't get in the whole Gladiator elite movie category. Hero, you're going to need more than one. Gladiator, is overrated. That's an interesting take. But I don't want to make this a movie show. I don't. We got to get on sports conversations. That's how this show grows. Not talking movies, talking sports. But we'll give you guys the time to give your movie takes down there. We'll bring up another movie next week. But LA Confidential is my movie of the day. And if you haven't watched it, you should. And if you don't like it, you should go back and rewatch it. And then start liking it after you rewatch it. That would be what I would say. They're making a sequel. You didn't know? Oh my God, yeah, they're making a sequel to The Gladiator. It's going to be Lucius, the little boy. He's now grown up. Right? There's an evil, I don't know. It's about the life of some of the characters down the line. Pretty sure Ridley Scott's back on board for it, too. The CIA Rich Wells injury report? I don't know. Hollywood Phil coming soon to YouTube. No, I can't do movie shows all the time. I just can't. I do TV shows all the time, but not movies all the time. I like more TV shows than movies because they're watched in my house, not in a movie theater, which I absolutely hate. Phil on films. No. Do you guys really want me to do a film show? No. Has Alien movie this year, new Alien movie this year too, and an Alien TV show next year. Why? L.A. Phil. Yeah. No, that doesn't work. L.A. Confidential. Yeah, that works, but that's about it there. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to talk about. You guys get so far off tangent with these random conversations that then I got a list of things I want to talk about, and I don't know where to go. I can start talking about something, and then you guys are just going to go in left field. But you know what? We'll go left field. We'll go. Somebody said LeBron James, future Sixer LeBron James. So we're going to bring back to the Sixers conversation. And yes, obviously, it's a big weekend for Tyrese Maxey being in Indy for the All-Star game, the festivities. I'm more interested in seeing Tyrese Maxey at the All-Star game itself, see him with the stars, with everything like that. Thought about betting Tyrese Maxey All-Star game MVP. It's like 85-1 or something, but why not? But the reports came out in the last couple of days that Daryl Morey made a phone call to LA to see if he could trade for LeBron James at the deadline. And he also, when he was shot down, made a call to Phoenix to see if they'd be willing to trade Kevin Durant. And when they said no, he said, well, what about Devin Booker? And when they said no, he said, what about Bradley Beal? And they said no. And there's a lot of people freaking out about all this, overreacting to this. Obviously, these teams were not going to trade at the deadline those guys to the Sixers. And I crushed Daryl Morey on a regular basis on this show, on social media, all the time, have since day one. But honestly, if there's even the slightest inkling of a theory that an elite star like one of those guys, LeBron or KD, would be tradable, wouldn't you be pissed off if Daryl Morey didn't call? Even if he gets laughed at, even if he gets hung up on, he's got to make the call. And I don't understand why people are so upset that Daryl Morey wasted time making those phone calls. It's not like he didn't make other calls. He made plenty of other calls. Hell, he made 3 or 4 trades at the deadline. 4. Of course he's going to call these teams. As soon as LeBron put that tweet out, every GM in the NBA should have been calling the Los Angeles Lakers. Ebert and Stiefel. No, my name would go first on the screen, just so you know, Stiefel and Ebert. On the QT, very, very hush, hush. I like it. I like what you said there. I like it. Morey kept shooting his shot at the deadline. What would an LB? I don't know what a LeBron offer would look like, honestly, because he is pushing 40 years old. He's got maximum 2 years left in him. Maximum. He's not what he used to be, but he's still an elite player. He's still probably in the top 10 players in the NBA in year 20, which is insane. Maybe top 5. What would it look like? Could you got 5 draft picks to trade, or however many you said. How many picks Could you have gotten it without, like, you probably had to include Tyrese Maxey in it, but you don't want to do. I don't know. It's crazy. And I don't know what it would look like. But why people were upset over it, I have no idea. Over under points, Tyrese Maxey, and also it depends on how many minutes he plays. I expect him to get 10 or 15 minutes only, which is going to make it very hard for him to get much. And it's kind of funny and ironic that he's going to be coming off the bench All-Star game, and his coach in the All-Star game is Doc Rivers, who loves Tyrese Maxey off the bench. Very, very ironic right there. But I don't think it'll be much because I don't think he'll get enough playing time. Here's a sports topic. What do you expect from Lowry after the All-Star break? I don't expect much. I don't expect much from Kyle Lowry. Some people think Nick Nurse is in love with him. So a lot of people think that Kyle Lowry is going to be a major part of this team coming out of the All-Star break. You guys got to temper your expectations for Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry, it's not 2015 anymore. Kyle Lowry is washed. He's slower. He doesn't shoot as well as he used to. He is a leader. He is a veteran presence, and he's home. All great. But he's not going to give you a lot. I'd rather be rolling out there with Ricky Council and letting him develop. It'd be really interesting to see what Ricky Council's minutes look like once Melton comes back, once Batum comes back, if Rocco ever comes back. It'll be interesting to see that. And I'd rather Ricky Council develop us, float water, and develop a future player now rather than running out Lowry out there to just keep us above water. But LeBron and KD, they both had rumblings of being unhappy. Exactly. So wouldn't you be mad if you found out LeBron got traded at the deadline and Daryl Morey at least didn't ask? I mean, seriously. Will Rory McIlroy win a major this year? What in the holy hell happened to Rory yesterday? I was watching golf yesterday, and I got Rory in a bunch of lineups. I didn't bet Rory this week. But he was 3 under through 9 or 10 holes. I was like, all right, Rory, that's good. Making me look smart. Because he was one of my main plays this week in DraftKings. And 3 under. All right, we're doing good here. Then next thing I look, and he's over par. I'm like, what the hell? Back-to-back double bogeys? Like, I don't know. No, he will not win a major this year. He will not. Haven't we heard rumors for 2 years that the Knicks are monitoring Embiid? I'd rather Embiid call and ask. Yeah, it's not like he's monitoring the situation of LeBron. He called. Said, yo, is there any substance to this rumor? Do you want to trade him to us? What would it take? And they laugh and hang up. Sure, fine. That's all you got to do. You got to ask. With the way LA runs, you don't call the GM, just call the directly. That is a fair point. Without a doubt. I still believe in Tommy Fleetwood. I don't know. I don't ever know what to think about Tommy Fleetwood, K1. I can't believe he didn't go to Live. He strikes me as a Live guy. The guy wins in Europe, but has never won on the PGA Tour. Come so close, but I can't get behind Tommy Fleetwood as a bet ever again. Only play him in DFS on Pete Dye courses as well. 40-year-old LeBron is better than any Joel co-star. Hey, Marshawn, you ain't wrong. Should have gotten him a few years ago when we entertained him for a free agent visit. I don't know. You guys know that today is the 2-year. It feels like 200 years ago, but today is the 2-year anniversary of the James Harden introductory press conference in Philadelphia. Let that sink in. It was only 2 years ago that James Harden became officially a 76er. Who would you rather have, KD or LeBron right now on this team? Probably LeBron. LeBron's the second greatest player of all time, still plays at an elite level, never gets hurt. KD is one of the best scorers of all time, maybe one of the best 15 or 20 players of all time. But LeBron is everything. And KD is just really great scorer. People complain about everything, Phil. They do. People do complain about everything. And of course, Christian, a bazootin' hoop. I'll never change. It will never change. Doc Rivers has some players in Cabo. It's going great in Milwaukee. Man, Doc Rivers, what's he, 3-8 now as the Bucks head coach? Couldn't have happened to a better guy. Like, is there a scenario where Doc Rivers gets fired already before the season's out? Is there a scenario where they go, hey, Adrian Griffin, you want to come back to your job? We're already paying you. Like, what the hell? There is no fix to what Milwaukee might fall to a play-in series. Like, they're falling to pieces. They lost again last night. I wouldn't be shocked if Giannis, that's right, Giannis S out at the end of the year. I know he just signed a big contract, but man, I still crush the bum because it's not about big fours anymore. Show you can build a deep contender or find a young player before he becomes the nest. Hey, I agree. I've been talking about finding the next star before they're stars since Kawhi Leonard was still a Spur. It was before I was major on social media, but I was pining. I was getting crushed saying, give Kawhi, after his rookie contract, he was a restricted free agent. I said the Sixers should have gone and offered him a max deal. And even if it got matched, at least you were making an effort to get him. And you got to. Albert, we could have got him. SGA, man, the guys, you got to get him. You got to. Rory's putting it. Yeah, so is Scotty Scheffler's. Scotty Scheffler had 3 under around yesterday, I think. But he missed at least 4 putts within 10 feet. Scotty Scheffler is the best golfer in the world right now, but he'd be one of the 3 best golfers of all time if he could just figure out how to putt. Rory, I don't know. Rory's just distracted in life. Morey's a diabolical genius. I would never use the word genius with Daryl Morey. He's asking how much for superstar players so he can gauge how much it costs for second-tier stars. Maybe it's big picture thinking like that. Yeah, maybe. Maybe he's asking what they're worth. So when someone calls him on Joel, he knows what to ask for in return. I don't know. But genius can never use the word genius and Morey in the same sentence. Or call Rich Paul for all LeBron inquiries. Yeah, exactly. Because whatever LeBron wants, he'll get. And seriously, hate Patrick Cantley. Yo, if Patrick, I have multiple Patrick Cantley bets this week. I called it out on Twitter. I didn't bet it because I don't bet first round leader. I said Patrick Cantley was going to be leading on Twitter on Fox the Gamblers page yesterday. After round 1, he is. He's in 10 of 20 lineups. Patrick Cantley's winning this event this week. I don't care if I hate the guy or not. If you hate the guy or not, the guy wins golf tournaments. He's winning this week. LeBron or Steph. LeBron's the better basketball player now. Always has been. Steph is one of the best point guards of all time. He's probably the best shooter of all time. Definitely the best three-point shooter of all time. But you can't seriously ask who's better over big picture, LeBron or Steph. Rich Paul is Tyrese Maxey's agent. Interesting. So pair Maxey with LeBron. Yeah, how about that? Nah, I don't want LeBron in Philly. I don't. Because I don't want Bronny James here as a Sixer. How about Scotty? I missed that. I had it on at the pizza shop yesterday, Adam. But busy day, doing a lot of work. So I saw some, missed some. But yeah. James Harden experience was so good the first 5 games, then Brooklyn dog-walked us at home. That's right. He was good at first. He was even good before he started playing when he was still getting in shape and everything. And he was coaching up Maxey and stuff like that. But it's the 2-year anniversary of his introductory press conference. And we thought that was finally completing the process. And it did, unfortunately. Milwaukee paying 3 head coaches this year, and none of them are any good. Dude, could you imagine that scenario in Milwaukee? 3 different people are being paid to be their head coach. And you got Doc Rivers out there. 2 better coaches than Doc Rivers are getting paid not to coach. And Doc Rivers, who sucks, is getting paid to coach. And badly. And you know what? I know Doc Rivers made excuses right from the get-go, saying, like, he's made a lot of excuses, period. But right at the introductory press conference, he's like, I wouldn't wish this scenario on any coach there to take over a team mid-season. I get that. It's tough to change schemes and styles mid-season. But come on. Like, Doc Rivers ain't the answer for anybody anymore. And as a Sixers fan, I love it. But as a fan of basketball, I hate it. because you want to see the Bucks compete. You want to see the Bucks be good. It's good for the game. Giannis is one of the best players in the game on the planet. You want to see the Bucks compete and being good. You don't want to see the Knicks make a deep run. You want to see the Bucks. If it's not the Sixers, Morey is definitely not a genius. A genius looks at ways to maximize deals and is proactive constantly. Yeah. Daryl Morey is more like the Bond villain. What was Carver in the one with Terry Hatcher? Said the distance. He always said the distance between genius and insanity is only measured by success. Well, he's insane because his success has been measured and it's not good. Those were scheduled were they? Yeah, man, that's right. That's right. Big game hunting. Morey. Yeah, I mean, look, you can't fault him for at least asking. The only athletes I hate play for the Niners. Yeah. I don't hate anybody. Hate's a strong word. Dislike, for sure. Cantley is the 49ers of golf. Yeah, for the non-golf fans, Patrick Cantley is one of the most hated golfers on tour by fans and players alike, mainly because of his slow play, his arrogant personality. Last week, I think it was last week, the Waste Management, he was paired with Victor Hovland for a round, and he just took like 3 hours on one hole, and Victor Hovland went from in contention to missing the cut, or at least falling really far back. And I blame it all on Cantley. Cantley is an annoying golfer, but you know what? I have a good vibe when it's a time to play him in DraftKings, and I have a good vibe when to bet him, and I'm telling you, he's winning. God, how I hate him. Hey, I get it. See my man, Brian Kirshner. He was there at Genesis yesterday, and he got caught on camera sitting there looking when Cantley was trying to hit from behind a tree. And you saw Brian behind him there watching the shot. I made Brian famous, just so you know. I seriously hate Beck Lynch and her I am man gimmick. She like the size of that cute little announcer lady. We're going to go that way today. Okay, gotcha. Samantha Irvine, Ricochet is one lucky man. We'll just say that. Debo is going to ask out soon. I can't wait when he gets traded to the Panthers. Yeah, we touched on San Francisco a little bit yesterday. That whole organization. We talk about the Eagles' window closing. Is it or is it not? Let me tell you something. The Kyle Shanahan 49ers window is about to slam shut. There's a lot of disgruntled players, disgruntled coaches, and disgruntled fans in that city. And it all looks back at Kyle Shanahan and the way he does business. Wilkes shouldn't have been fired as defensive coordinator. Like if I'm Vic Fangio, I'm finding a spot on my staff room. Whatever you want to get paid, come hang out in Philly for a year. You're not going to get all the DC jobs have been filled already. So why don't you come here to Philly? Come help us out. Why not? Hell, I'd fire Vic Fangio already and bring Wilkes in. Thank you to the Bucks for not having the Sixers paying for him to play golf. Yeah, exactly. Making excuses early is the foundation that the 23 Niners are built on. That's so true, Marshawn. So true. I love it. That is Doc Rivers and the 49ers. I mean, one and the same. Send Debo to the Commanders. No. Look, Debo is a whiner, a crybaby, whatever. But Debo is still an elite wide receiver. Now, I wouldn't put him in the top 5. He might crack the top 10, but he's definitely top 15. He is definitely an elite weapon. So I wouldn't want him anywhere near the Eagles every single year. I know. I know what you meant there. Terry Hatcher was, yeah. Oh my God, she's one of my top 3 dream girls of all time. They're real and they're fabulous. And she also is the best looking Lois Lane of all time, just so you know. Doc has a 111, 104 playoff record. Never got when people said he's a top 15 coach. Dude, Brett, we talked about this for 2 years on this show. We stopped calling him Doc on this. It was actually a banned word on this show. There have been only a handful of banned words. I don't even remember them all. Banned word number 1 was Carson Wentz, and banned word number 2 was Doc. You had to call him Glenn for a while on this show. It just got too hard to keep track of, so we went back to calling him Doc. But he ain't the doctor of nothing. He rode the coattails of Garnett and Pearson Allen to one NBA championship, and he's fallen short every year else he's been in his career. Daryl Morey is the midget in Pet Santa. The rest of the GMs are Bernie Mac. Oh man, wow, that's a good one right there. All right, big man at Daryl. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Samantha Irvin. Yeah. Yeah. Prime Ertz is greater than George Kittle. It's close. Sure. Ertz is obviously the better receiver. George Kittle does so much little stuff on the field that doesn't get like if you really watch a 49ers game and sometimes they'll zoom in on Kittle's face when he's blocking along the goal line and pancaking. Like George Kittle would be beloved in Philadelphia for the way he plays. I think George Kittle is a very underrated tight end. He's top 5 or 6 in the NFL. To me, he's top 3. It's Mark Andrews, it's Travis Kelce, and it's George Kittle. At this moment, there's obviously some new up and comers like Laporta and whatnot, Kyle Pitts and all, but George Kittle is probably the 3rd best tight end in football, in my opinion. Kyle Shanahan will never win a Super Bowl. I wouldn't say never, Adam. He's still fairly young. People said the same thing about Andy Reid. Never will win a Super Bowl. He was here in Philly, made the Super Bowl, championship games galore, goes to KC, does the same, and then gets Patrick Mahomes and look. Kyle Shanahan eventually will have to be moved out of San Francisco or change his philosophies on how he builds a team. You know, it proves you need better than Brock Purdy, maybe, or you need a different philosophy. He wants to, yeah, dude. I love it. LA Confidential. If you haven't watched it, go watch it today. You ever hear Kittle's name in big games more like George Little? All right, so he came up small in the Super Bowl. He also got hurt in the Super Bowl late in the game. You have those disgruntled San Francisco fans and players because for 2 seasons they were told they were the best and the Lombardi should just be handed to them. Yeah, the 49ers fans are a bunch of crybabies for sure. They are. Whispers, I would take Deebo Samuel on the Eagles at the right price. Pair him. We need a 3rd receiver to pair with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Now, I'm not moving on from A.J. Brown for Deebo or Devontae Smith for Deebo, but at the right price, of course I'd put him. Put him in the slot. Game over. Just give Jalen Hurts the MVP now with a 3rd wide receiver of his skill set. Absolutely. I do have a few Eagles things I do want to bring up. The only lowest lane I acknowledge is Terry Hatcher. I mean, such a cheesy TV show. What was it, in the mid-90s? Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. Dean Cain as Superman. Super cheesy. Super cheesy TV show. But as a Superman fanatic, I've never missed anything Superman. I love every movie and TV show ever done about Superman. I just do. And Dean Cain, I love him. Loved it. I would have loved it. They brought back in the Flash movie a lot of cameos of different people. Obviously, George Clooney's Batman was back. I would have loved if in some form there was a Dean Cain, in the bat suit or in the Superman suit somewhere. Maybe there was and I missed it, but I only watched it once. It was a bad movie. George Brittle. Come on, guys. George Kittle's a good tight end, man. Just Glenn Rivers would suffice. It is. It's so hard. And Marshawn, you know that I had this Glenn Rivers thing going on DSM for a while. It's just so hard to keep up with saying Glenn Rivers and keeping other people to saying Glenn Rivers. It just had to stop. That's why you guys were quick to call me Doc. Yeah. You are so much more of a Doc, Brett, than Glenn Rivers, for sure. Does George Kittle give you Ertz, Kelce, Andrews production in big games? No, that's true. It's fair. I just think Kittle's a damn good. Maybe it's also the system. Maybe it's also the philosophies of the team. Maybe George Kittle in another situation. I can't believe I finished my coffee and I'm already halfway done my orange juice today. Damn, and we still got 35 minutes left in this show. Does Andy draft Mahomes if he still was in Philly? Or does Howie block that? I don't know. I don't know what happens there. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I don't like the guy at the end. The guy and the Sixers fans are overrating every leak report. What GM you know pats themselves on the back on what they almost did? Like, I think it's been a little blown out of proportions. I agree that he should have made the calls he did make. I just, they're not realistic, but you still got to do it. You'd be complaining if he didn't do it. Jalen making them throws to Debo. I'm only kidding. Jalen's legal team. Tim Daly in Superman, the animated series, is my Superman. All right. Tim Daly, that's a great name right there. Terry Hatcher was she still is. Ain't gonna lie. Number one girl right there. Terry Hatcher, for those that don't know, Superman, she was Lois Lane, obviously Desperate Housewives, a Seinfeld girlfriend, but she was also Penny Parker. Do you guys know who Penny Parker is? Think about Penny Parker. She had a recurring role on a TV show, one of my favorite TV shows as a kid, as Penny Parker. She's in 3 to 5 episodes as Penny Parker. Remember that one. Phil, did you see David Carradine's exposition on the Superman myth? No. I don't know what that means. Sorry. Problem with Kittle is if the other team gets pressure, they keep him in the block, and that I absolutely agree with you on that. And he's a great blocker at that. You have 2 tight ends on a team normally, the blocking tight end and the receiving tight end. Kittle does both. Could give great production, but Purdy doesn't even look his way. Absolutely agree. Sorry, skipping comments. 4th down catch and go ahead touchdown by Ertz in the Super Bowl still gives me chills. Yeah, it does. We need to get back to that feeling. If Kittle lined up 75% as a wide receiver like Kelce, he'd put up similar numbers. It's very possible. My wife watches Desperate Housewives. Terry did too much. Yeah, that's true. What 70s show are you referencing? You don't know. It's not 70s. I didn't grow up in the 70s. Stop trying to insult me. But Terry Hatcher had a recurring role as Penny Parker on a famous TV show with an amazing actor, MacGyver. She was not a love interest, just one of MacGyver's regular recurring friends that would pop up from season to season to go have some hijinks and adventures with MacGyver. Penny Parker. Terry Hatcher even had a role in MacGyver. I got some useless and important information up here. And if you get that reference, we're best friends. It's LA, Phil. Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, quick soft reset here. You're watching Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. Make sure you hit the like button, share button, subscribe button, retweet button, wherever you're watching. Get your comments in. We're talking NBA All-Star Weekend. Tyrese Maxey, the future of the Sixers the rest of this year. Eagles in the conversation. And I'm going to bring up 2 Eagles points to add to the conversation. But make sure you do me that favor. Hit that like, retweet, subscribe, follow button wherever you're watching. Let's do a little shout out. See, I do other things as well. Shout out to Caitlin Clark setting the NCAA scoring record last night. And she didn't just break the record. She shattered. She scored 49 points last night. She only needed 8 to break the record. She scored 49. Iowa Hawkeye. Everybody's excited. I don't watch college basketball. Definitely don't watch women's college basketball. But I know it's a hot story, and the girl can score. And she can get buckets. I would like to see her in the NBA three-point shooting contest. Tarantino and Kill Bill explained that Superman was the only superhero who was born a superhero, not a human, and was created as a commentary parody of the weakness of the human race. Interesting. But it makes sense. A quick, instant reaction to what you're saying there. But it makes sense. I remember the episode where she inherited her aunt's house, which she thought was haunted. I remember when they first met at the airport, and she, got MacGyver tricked into helping her and stuff like that. She was around. I always wanted the 2 of them to hook up, and they never did. All right, so we're back from the soft reset here, and I want to throw 2 Eagles talking points into the conversation today for the final 30 minutes. Captain America, Captain America was just a roid rager. Basically, if Aaron Rodgers didn't play baseball and wanted to fight crime, basically, right? Not Aaron Rodgers, Alex Rodriguez. Captain America was a PED user, basically. I don't even know if you'd call it a PED. He was not using the cream in the clear. He was using straight roids. Oh, man. How are we going to criticize Captain America? All right, two Philadelphia Eagles points I want to bring into the equation today. And we can keep talking Daryl Morey, George Kittle, movies, whatever else too. Does Jason Kelce need to make his decision soon? Is he? Does he owe it to us? I mean, he doesn't owe us anything. But if he drags this out all off season, we are 3 weeks away from free agency, 4 or 5 weeks from the draft, doesn't he need to make the decision now? If he loves this organization so much, in my mind, he's already made his decision. Yeah, Jordan Mailata talking, I think it was, I saw it yesterday. I don't know when he made the interview. You have Jordan Mailata saying that he does not see a scenario where Kelce comes back. It's like, does he just need to tell us and just get it over with? Because next year, what Howie does for next year, does he need to sign a guard? Does he need to draft another center if Cam Jurgens can't be that center? There's so much that's got to be done if Kelce retires. And if he is returning, it changes everything as well. I don't know if he owes us is the right way to phrase it, but he should, if he cares about this organization and this team, make that announcement now. And I don't know what he's waiting for. I think he knows. I think he's waiting for the right moment to capitalize financially. But I think he just needs to get it done, get it over with. So that's topic one I want to bring up. And topic two, I want to bring up, we touched on it briefly yesterday. For some reason, Saquon Barkley is linked to the Eagles a lot. And do you want Saquon Barkley here? And I said no yesterday, but I thought a little bit more about it. And I'm not totally against it at the right price. If you get him on a cheap deal, I doubt you could. But maybe Saquon does want to win a Super Bowl and would come back to Philly. Well, he wasn't from Philly, but he went to Penn State. Come back to PA and take a cheap deal to try and get himself a Super Bowl ring. I don't know. Back to the comments. Captain America is the first HR king. Yeah. Rogers uses different drugs. Yeah, he does. He goes on his darkness retreat, which is basically get high as hell and go in the woods. Yeah, basically. We're besmirching Captain America on the show. How did that become a thing? It's like the Dame situation. Make a decision, Jason. I agree. It's different because Dame was still playing. He wasn't retiring. But just make a decision. Don't drag us out. Don't make it every other day. Is he going to retire or is he not going to retire? Today, we feel like he is retiring. Tomorrow, we feel like he's not retiring. Just make your decision. Just announce your decision. Because I think he's already made said decision. Jason is waiting for Taylor's tour to end. Maybe he's going to do it on stage at one of Taylor's concerts. He's probably waiting for the right podcast. That he'll probably announce it on his podcast. And it's pre-recorded. Then they'll promote it. He makes his decision on said podcast. So everyone will tune in to hear it. He's a businessman. Kelce ain't dumb. He knows what he's doing. But in my opinion, it's got to get done now, not later. He needs to make it before the draft. He needs to make it before free agency. Free agency is 3 weeks away, I think? Or 3 weeks from yesterday, maybe? He needs to make it before the league year starts so that Howie can have his year. But if he announces it, March 1st, just say free agency starts March 2nd, March 1st. It doesn't give him much time to pivot. And I see this comment way down here, and I got to get it. No. Never slander Jason. We're not slandering him. But the second part, Nitro, of your conversation, your point, he can take as long as he wants. It changes everything in the offseason, no matter what he does, but depending on what he does. So don't you want your Eagles to be able to have the best offseason possible? You have the best offseason possible by getting that decision out of Jason Kelce. Dead cat was juiced to the kill. Oh, man. Cat was nothing more than a Swanson frozen meal that was reheated. Wow. I think Jason is done. Jordan Mailata is like Kurt Angle when it comes to keeping secrets. Yeah. I like that. Jordan Mailata, I think, summed it up. I think we've heard enough people say enough things that we kind of know he's going to retire. But if he's even got like that 2% that he's not decided yet, then that's fine. But I think he's already decided. I don't think he's told anybody, though. Saquon is literally the last guy Howie gets in a bidding war over. I'm not saying he's going to bid on him. I'm saying if nobody wants Saquon, and if Saquon wants to come to Philly, and if Saquon wants a chance at the Super Bowl, Philly's a great spot for him. Saquon's career can be lengthened by playing behind our offensive line. If you can get him cheaply, I'm on. Yesterday I said no. Today I'm thinking at the right price, at the right contract, it might not be the worst idea. I only want Kelce to return because his arrogant little brother has 3 rings and he only has 1. Yeah, I don't think Kelce will be around long enough to catch up. I don't. It's Captain Puerto Rico to you, I say. We have other things to worry about. This is why players don't like y'all. Who don't like us? Players love me. We're not. I think you're misinterpreting what we're talking about on Jason Kelce. And there are plenty of other things to worry about on this team: linebacker, safety, cornerback, defensive line, wide receiver 3, tight end 2. There's lots of issues. But a big issue is center. We rely on that offensive line. If you got to move Cam Jurgens over to center, that means you're relying on Tyler Steen. Or do you grow out and get a right guard? Or do you keep Cam Jurgens at right guard and you go out and get a center in the draft? I think it's a big key talking point. I don't think we're being rude about it or wrong about it. We just want an answer. And I think Kelce shouldn't let it drag on all off season. He should make that announcement official before free agency starts. Kelce and Brady call him plays for Fox. I'm with it. Kelce will broadcast if he wants to. I'm thinking Jason has told Howie of his decision. He just hasn't made it public yet. That is very, very possible. That is very, very possible. And I hope, if at the least, I hope that is the case. I think Howie has his contingencies in place, and I think they all know they can sign a guard if Jason is there or not. Yeah. The Eagles will just plan for him not to be back and have a pleasant surprise when he does. I can see Kelce pulling like one of these things where he says he's retiring and he goes to camp to help train the young kids, kind of like players do all the time. You see Philly spring training, you always get former Phillies down there. Kelce gets to camp, helps the coaches as a special instructor for a week or two, and then gets the itch back and says, you know what, guys, I'd like to play. I just don't want to be in camp. It does change a lot. Opeta can't be your center. And Dickerson is one of the best left guards in football. Are you going to create a hole at left guard by moving Dickerson to center? It's right guard. It's Cam Jurgens, maybe or maybe not. And Opeta better not. Sewer Opeta ain't playing center for this team. No way. At least Jason can try and beat Travis and the Chiefs to make it 1-1. Yeah, maybe. Stop. Don't start that again, K1. If he retires and came back, I would not want to go back to the house and face Kylie. Yeah, I can see Jason. Yeah, I'm retired. I'm good. But I'm going to go hang out with the boys and help coach for a week in camp. Okay. All right. That's fine. Then he comes back home. He's like, Kylie, we need to talk a little bit. While I was there, I accidentally signed a new contract and I'm back for another year. She would look like Kylie is becoming the most famous football wife there is out there right now. The fact that she won't wear anything but Eagles colors. She won't, do it. I love it. She's great. She's great. I don't think we're asking for much here, Nitro. We're not being rude about this. I'm really sad that you're misunderstanding what we're talking about. We're allowed to disagree. All opinions matter on this show. But I do think it changes a lot, whether he's here or not. It changes a massive amount of what is going to be the game plan. And I agree. I agree with who set it up here. K1 said it. I agree. They may have already spoken. And they've already got it figured out. He just wants to make it public at the right time. I can see Jason Kelce doing those podcasts. I can see him making the decision at like an event, like when where it's raising money for charity. I hope this year the players pull a beast mode on all media. I would laugh all year. You all would be so mad. I don't understand where this thing is coming from. I think we do a very, very objective job of discussing, not crushing. Now, I can't say all media is like that, and I don't consider myself media. I'm just a fan just like you. I just happen to have a platform. So, um, I think there's plenty of people that are on the same boat as you. I don't know. I don't know there, Nitro. The media is stupid to try to break a retirement. Let these guys control that announcement. Happened with Brady too. Yeah, yeah. But also on the flip side, it is the media's job to ask the questions, to try to get the answers. We did get mad when. Well, hold on. I lost my train of thought there. We got mad when we get mad when the media don't ask the hard questions. We got mad. What story was it that broke? I forget what story broke in the Eagles season this year, and we were mad that nobody in the Eagles media got the scoop on it. I forget what scenario that was. So do we want them to ask the questions and try to get the information, or do we not? We can't have it both ways. I try to be fair. I do. And again, I'm not a media member. I'm just a random dude that likes to talk. I say on my golf podcast all the time, I'm just an idiot that talks a lot. And that's all I am. Peyton Manning went to Denver for a ring because Eli had two with the Giants. That's the egomaniac Hall of Famers too. So you're saying that because there was a rumor that maybe Jason would still play with for a year with his brother, would quit and go to KC, which he wouldn't because they already have an all-pro center in KC. Maybe he comes back and convinces the Eagles and Howie to make a trade to bring Travis to Philly. Bring the Travis and Tay show to Philly. That would be hilarious. That would be a riot. You're just trying to get me to say. I think you spelled his first name wrong. But there was a K in his first name. Hoygaard. I don't know. He was on my DFS lineups this week. I don't even know how he did yesterday. So, but see, I got Hoygaard's name right, I think. It's one thing is the players use the media to announce it, but to try to get it out before the player is ready. Yeah, so going and asking his teammates what they think and how that whole scenario went after the game. I think it was Brandon Graham. I forget who it was that got asked and gave out the answer prematurely. And everybody started backtracking on it, et cetera, et cetera. That's one thing. Go ask him directly. I have no problem if any of the beat reporters would go right up to Jason Kelce and be like, "Are you retiring or are you not?" If he says whatever, whatever. You gotta try to get the scoop. You gotta try to get the answers. Every media member wants to get the answers first. It is what it is. I think there's a difference between media and radio personalities or podcast personalities. I don't consider myself a media member. I just want an answer. I want to know so that I can then determine what I want the Eagles to do in free agency in the draft. They're gonna have like $40 million to get, and even if he does retire, let me get this one out there. If he does retire, he won't officially retire, I don't think, till June 1st. Because I think there's a cap implication if his retirement is official on June 1st. I think. We have upwards of $40-50 million with renegotiations and cuts and signings, with free agency. Do we got to spend 10 million of that on a right guard or a center, or do we not? Do we got to spend one of our top draft picks on a center or not? It's a big question to have answered. But I do agree that I think that they already know. I'm almost positive that he already knows. I would assume that if he already knows, Howie probably already knows. But we'll see. I get a couple pronunciations right. K1, you got to give me credit. I pronounce golfers' names 100 times better than football, baseball, and basketball and hockey names. without about a doubt. Just so you know, I know most golfers' names. Oberg, I had no idea that Oberg's name was Oberg and not Aberg, but that's a different story. And Bazoonhoot, I just say perfect. My Bazoonhoot pronunciation is the same way that I pronounce Giannis wrong all the time. It's just to rub people the wrong way. For the most part, I get football or golfers' names right. I agree. I know what you mean. I'm making sure everybody else knows. A reporter to me is media members are the reporters, the guys that the beat reporters that are in the locker room asking questions, writing the articles, and whatnot. A guy that just does a podcast or a radio show, but's never in the locker room, like someone like Jamie Apodi, who is she back on the air yet at ABC? I don't know. She's in the locker room reporting, but she's also like the anchor desk. She's a media member. John Clark, he's a media member. He's a reporter. But somebody that's just on the radio, I wouldn't call that a media member per se or a reporter. You get what I'm getting at there. But again, I still think that he needs to make it public. The other thing about it is, I don't want to have this conversation every other week. I don't. Just get it over with. Just announce it. Get it over with. I'm 90% sure that his decision has been made. He's just waiting. Just get it over with. Stop the rumors. Stop this or that. Just get it over with. We can be done with it. We can move on with the offseason one way or another. I actually would love to see Kelce come back, not just because I love Jason Kelce, because Jason Kelce is still, at 13 years in the league, still one of the best centers in all of football. He might not be 1 or 2 anymore, but he's at least top 5 center in football still. And there's no guarantees that Cam Jurgens is going to be an even solid center. We don't know. We think, we hope Jeff Stoutland's going to sink his teeth in. You hope Kelce has imparted some of the wisdom on him. There's no guarantees. You know what you're getting in Jason Kelce. Guy out there every single game that performs at a high level. So I would love to see him say, coming back for one more year. I'd be okay with that. The public needs to make the distinction between, because it wasn't media members that started that AJ rumor from WIP. Yeah. Actually, I kind of may have been the one that started that. I get no credit for it, but I brought up AJ Brown versus the AJ Brown conversation before anybody else did anywhere else. Just going to say it. There's proof. I was on the Edge of Philly preseason prediction show, over-under show, and they played my clip on the recap show last week of me saying that Devontae Smith was going to be wide receiver 1A to 1B of A.J. Brown by the end of the season. I kind of went on this A.J. Brown thing at the end of last season. So it may have been me, actually, that started that. I won't get any of the credit, but I may have been the first person to start talking that. Phil to Jason, stop. Yeah, that's right. I need to get one of these shirts to Jason Kelce somehow. Stop. Dude, that would be so sweet if Jason Kelce was rocking one of my shirts. Reporters have degrees in journalism and literature. I couldn't do that. My ADHD. Dude, look, my first major in college, first official major, I had a lot of ones I was going to be, and then one of my first official major was broadcast journalism / communications. I lasted 1 year in that major. There's a lot of reasons why, not just the major itself. But I was a terrible writer. I'm still a terrible writer. I mean, I shouldn't say a terrible writer. I'm not an elite writer for sure. I can write a little bit. My problem with writing is I ramble. Hence, it's easier for me to talk. Like trying to translate what I say on this show into article format, it's impossible. I like to use ... like I'm thinking when I'm talking, and I'm writing way too much. And I'm too opinionated to be an unbiased reporter. Not that many of the media members in Philly are unbiased. They all got agendas. But it is what it is. Did I cover everything on my list here? All-Star game, Saquon to the Eagles. Nobody really got behind me on the Saquon to the Eagles thing. Kelce retirement. Caitlin Clark, shout out, Iowa Hawkeye. NCAA women's scoring record. Daryl Morey trades. Bucks and Doc Rivers. Oh, I wrote down Klay Thompson. Everybody hated me for asking for Klay Thompson in Philly at the trade deadline. And you know what? Buddy Hield was the better move, obviously, when it worked. But Klay Thompson got benched, and he went out there and scored like 400 points last night. He came off the bench and lit it up. Klay Thompson still got a little something left in the tank. You guys are going to be missing that. Monday is President's Day. You should wear a red, white, and blue top hat. Yeah, no, probably won't be doing that. Not going to do that. But Monday, President's Day, there is something interesting. I haven't confirmed it. By my man, Mark Moschitelli, Mark with a C, supposed to be joining me on the program. We haven't had Marky Mark on this show in a while. We might go 12 rounds with Marky Mark on Monday. Kind of excited about it. We did. Flyers weren't in my notes, but we did talk them for a few seconds. We did. I think I stretched it out to like 60 seconds just so I could say I spent a minute on it. I don't think Phil can pull off the Apollo Creed look. No, cannot do it. I just reported Bulls wanted 3 seconds for Drummond. So Darryl just went to Indy and traded 3 seconds for him. Yeah, 3 seconds for Drummond. Look, we need a backup. We needed a backup center. We didn't get one. We're going to run with Paul Reed. Inconsistent Paul Reed. And even more inconsistent Mo Bamba. Bamba number 5 now, by the way. You like what I did there? That really annoys me. Can you imagine being a Mo Bamba fan and buying a Sixers jersey and then he changes numbers halfway through the season just to appease Kyle Lowry? Come on, Kyle Lowry. You ain't what you used to be. Just pick a new number. You got to be. That would annoy me so much. It really, really would. But, yeah. Anyway, I think we covered it all. At least Moschitelli will show up since he apparently has no job. Moschitelli's got a job. He just has a job that gives him off on President's Day. But, see, I don't take days off. Well, I take a few here or there. But I like to say I'm, never taking a day off. I keep going. I got a 12-hour day at a pizza shop ahead of me, and I'm here at 8 o'clock in the morning, getting up at 6:30 in the morning to do this with you guys. We're coming down to the home stretch of this show this week for the week, so whatever. But make sure you guys come see me. I'll be at the shop all day today, tomorrow. Sounds like we're supposed to have a snowstorm tonight. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but yeah, it's gonna be a fun week. But I'll be at the pizza shop all day today, all day tomorrow, maybe even a little bit on Sunday. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, I think we covered pretty much everything I wanted to cover today. I even got to spend a few minutes talking about LA Confidential, one of the most underrated movies of all time. I don't care that you guys say it won all these awards. It does not get talked about anywhere enough at all. And it should. It is an elite movie. IMDb has it ranked its movie on its top 500 movie list, 124 on the all-time list. Rollo Tomasi. Yeah, I love it. National Weather Service calling for 3 to 4. I saw 3 to 5 on my phone, but yeah. Another one of those quick hitting storms tonight. Be gone by the time we wake up. It's kind of annoying. It's going to make my weekend a pain in the ass. Dealing with it because I hate it. Oh, so we're not doing a $500 super chat anymore. We're doing $510 now. Wow. If only that was the case. The guy who gets away with it. Guys, we're going to wrap this shebang up here. Trending in the AM. We'll be back Monday. President's Day. Like I said, Marky Mark, I got to confirm, but he texted me last week or early this week and said he was off, and if I wanted to have him on, he would. Tuesday, we got Chris Franklin, NJ.com, Eagles beat reporter joining us. We'll ask him about Kelce. We'll ask him about the offseason. We'll ask him about a lot of things. He'll be joining us on Tuesday for a little bit. Don't know who else we'll get next week. Next Friday. Well, Wednesday, we'll have Justin Crosby, Sixers Talk. Friday, Kylie, starting our regular weekly Philly segment on this show. Man, that's 4 people already lined up next week. Wow, how about that? I just need somebody on Thursday, or maybe I'll skip guests on Thursday just so you guys get full attention from me for one day. Everyone should strive. No, not everybody should rock all American gear. I remember a picture of my brother-in-law at a party. He had a red, white, and blue bathing suit on, red, white, and blue top hat and vest. No, not everybody should rock that. Doesn't work for everybody. Not at all. Let's go Sixers. Let's go Eagles. I'm excited for the All-Star game. I would love Mac McClung and Laurie Marketed to win their respective contests. That way, I hit a huge parlay. That would be fantastic this weekend. Kelce, please give us your answer. I would greatly appreciate it. Guys, if I don't know how many people have liked this video, probably not enough. The Night Owl Massacres did not happen at Fox's Pizza. I don't want that bad reputation on me. Definitely do not. Make sure you have a great weekend, guys. We'll be back on Monday with Mark Moschitelli. Back Monday, talking all things. We'll go around the table on Monday. We'll cover it all. We might even have some Phillies conversations with Mark. We'll see how that 90 minutes goes. But enjoy the weekend, guys. Enjoy it and have a great one. Be safe in the snow. Make sure you check out my T-shirt site, linked in the bio description of the show. The original, not a copycat, Fairway to Heaven. The Core 12. And the Stop. There's shirts, there's T-shirts, there's hoodies, there's coffee mugs, there's stickers. Check it out. There's other designs there. I've got a nice little Aim Higher, Hertz, and Sirianni shirt on there. Guys, come on. Rock, there is no tomorrow. Go Birds, go Sixers, go Flyers, and Duck. What, are you going to eliminate Ring the Bell? Are you not going to say Ring the Bell for our Phillies? Go Bazoodanoo. Guys, yeah, Patrick Cantley for the win at the Genesis. I'm hoping. I'm praying. Let's go. Everybody have a great weekend and go Birds.